The United Nations has joined forces with some of Bob Marley's children, specifically Stephen and Cedella Marley, as well as Cedella's son, Skip. They are re-releasing the iconic Bob Marley and the Wailers song, One Love, and they're doing it with the UN and UNICEF. It's part of UNICEF's reimagine campaign to help and raise awareness when it comes to the impact of COVID-19 on children around the world. Just listen.
One love, one heart, let's get together and feel alright.
All right, so I spoke to Cedella Marley and her son Skip about the Reimagine campaign with UNICEF and how it all came to be.
One love, one heart.
It's important now, this song, because now we're bringing together artists from all around the world. When you watch the video or when you listen to the record, it's a universal message of love. And what we were able to do with this record this time around is actually make it a universal message of love with artists from all over the world. And I think it was important for us to share the message of unity and one love. And it's also important for all of us to stand together to support the children around the world. And this song, along with our partnership with UNICEF and Amplify, I think we're going to be able to do really good things.
It's a hard song to kind of reinvent because so much of what your father did was perfection. You can't imagine one-upping him in any way. It must be something that you're very cautious about when you are dealing with your father's work, that if you're going to touch it, if you're going to change it in any way, it has to have the same level of excellence.
Yeah, we tread very carefully with Mr. Marley and his music. I think though that this would be one that we would definitely say, go get it done. Because it was important for us to be a part of this bringing a voice to the voiceless. And I think this song, it was released 40 years ago, actually. And it's so funny because when Daddy wrote it 40 years ago, I didn't think that, 40 years later, we'd be using it for something like this, because I just thought the world would be a much better place. But we are where we are, and Daddy is still very much a part of this future.
Yes. What do you think your dad would be saying or thinking as he watched what was happening around the world, as he watched the divisions that we are seeing, certainly in the US, but beyond, and what this disease, COVID-19, has done is really shed a light on the inequalities that we already knew were there, but it's really exacerbated them. What do you think your father would say or feel?
I mean, he will feel frustrated, of course. This pandemic, it's a COVID pandemic, but it's also a lot of other pandemics that have come out because of this one thing. And so we have cultural pandemic, we have race pandemic, we have gender pandemic. It's just so funny that something that should have probably brought us closer together have actually showed us like we have so much work to do. Yeah. And if Daddy was physically here, I know he would be out there on the forefront, protesting. And we're fortunate enough that we can use his music to be his voice as a part of this protest.
Indeed. Skip, what has it meant for you to be involved in this? Bob Marley was your grandfather.
Yeah, it's an honor, it's always an honor, performing my grandfather's music, alongside my mother, my uncle Stephen as well involved. So, it's always a joy, and it's beautiful to see the unity, on this track, because there's people from all over the world, coming together and showing that love, that understanding. It's very important for the youth to see that.
Your grandfather obviously passed away before you were born, I think, but clearly his presence is strong. I'm wondering, you know, what it's like for you to grow up a little bit in the shadow of this legend.
It's not a shadow, it's a light. It's not a shadow. Yeah, it's, it's been my life. It's been a road. There's so much from being on the road. Just learning from my uncles and my mother. Just my learning experience. We're just growing and growing together. It's beautiful.
So ultimately, you want people to feel good, but you want them to take a few more steps too. So ultimately, what do you hope this song does?
Well, we hope it wakes up a lot of people. We hope it unifies people. We hope it raises money for the UNICEF's Reimagine campaign, because it is helping children around the world who have been affected by this pandemic. And, at the end of the day, we just want people to listen to it and just feel good. Like, it's something where we're giving you something for you to just feel good. It's very simple. It's just one love, feel good.
This is not the only thing that you have done to help children. You're also a children's author. I told you that my daughter loves your books. And I'm sure during the process, you learned a little bit about the impact of COVID-19 on children around the world. I'm just sort of curious about, when the information that you've learned, how it's affected you.
It's like I really don't have words to describe it. But
there is a better future.
Yeah, we do.
We need to build a better future now.
I never thought that was something that my son would be saying, in 2020. Mom, we need to build a better future. It's just very bizarre what's happening. But you know what, too? I'm glad that they're here to actually see it, because sometimes you can't explain to your children what you have seen as a child. And now, although it's terrible that they are being witness to this madness, but it's good, because then it gives them a clearer understanding of what they have to do. Yeah. It's on their shoulders now.
Right. So hopefully the song will raise a lot of money. We already know that at Pandora, the jewelry company has pledged, I think, to match up to $1 million. What will the money be used for?
It all goes to UNICEF. It all goes to children, helping children that have been affected by this pandemic. So it's in UNICEF hands. We're doing our part, and we know they're going to do their part. 100% of the proceeds goes to UNICEF.
That's great. When I was, thinking about talking to you, I was thinking about the great responsibility of managing your father's legacy and how the Marley family has done such an exceptional job. I've never seen the Marley name associated with anything that wasn't top-notch, inspiring. And I know you get a lot of people coming to you. I'm curious about just how you manage that legacy, because it's a family affair, how the whole family works to make sure that the Bob Marley legacy is never tainted, because you do an excellent job.
Well, I always say to myself, what would Daddy do? And then, the answer is very, it's right there in front of me. So I don't have to look too far outside of what's coming to me, because I know what Daddy would want to happen. And so it's fairly easy. We deal with good people. We try and do beautiful and wonderful things, and we try to bring about change. And that's the legacy, really.
And I suppose Daddy would definitely be approving of the use of this song.
Oh, for sure. 100%. And Mommy, too.
That's very good. Well, I wish you guys all the luck in the world with this endeavor. I don't think you're really going to need it, because this is a song that, if it doesn't touch your heart every time you hear it, then you must not have a heart. So I think that it's a great thing that you're doing, and I appreciate the time that you spent with us.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Listen.